Project rolls on. It's Todd La Torre of Queensrÿche. Hey, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thanks for having us.
I want to talk a little bit to you about how you started in the industry. I read on your bio that you're really a versatile musician. You started playing the drums when you were a kid, then you picked up the guitar, and now you're fronting a band. Can you talk about the different things that you've gone through in terms of your own personal evolution as a musician?
I started playing guitar when I was 10 years old, and I picked up drums at 13, and that kind of became my passion, was drumming. And I played in bands. My first club show, I was 14 years old, and that was what I wanted to do and be, was a famous rock metal drummer. And I still played guitar and use it more of a songwriting tool. And then the bands that I was in as a drummer, I would do backing vocals and that kind of thing. So I never was an aspiring vocalist to sing for any band. Fast forward to around 2009, I think. I had this crazy idea that maybe I wanted to start an Iron Maiden tribute band, but as a vocalist, not as a drummer. And so one of my dear friends, Matt Laporte, he passed away, but he was one of my very good friends, and he played guitar for John Oliva's Pain. He played in Circle to Circle. We kind of collaborated on a song together, and he was pretty impressed with it. It was something that I think he and John Oliva had that was just shelved, just a little idea.
And you had never sung before?
For myself, not with a band or anything. And so he was friends with the guys in Crimson Glory, and their original vocalist, Midnight, had passed away. And so Crimson Glory was kind of, I don't know if you would say hiatus or inactive at that time. And so the band was going to be part of a memorial concert at the Prague Power Show in Atlanta, and they were having various guest singers. Long story short, Matt contacted the guys in Crimson Glory, who are in Sarasota, Florida. I'm in St. Petersburg. And one night I was invited to go up and kind of meet the band and help as one of the character singers. That they were having 17 guest singers or something like that. So in an effort to make their rehearsals kind of play out like that show would, I would say, okay, I'm this guy on this song, and just kind of help out. And then one thing led to another. They were happy with the effort that I put in at their rehearsals, and so they offered me to be one of the guest vocalists. And every vocalist had their, the affiliation, their band that they were known for or whatever. And so it said Todd La Torre, nothing. It didn't say anything. And people were saying, well, who's this guy? And John Drenning would say, oh, he just fell out of the sky. And so I got to perform at the Prague Power Show, and it was awesome. I mean, it was a packed venue, and I got to do a couple songs from Crimson Glory. The guitar player, John, and I, there's two guitarists, but the one guitar player and I started a friendship. We started writing music together. That would eventually lead the band Crimson Glory to kind of reform, and then I got to do the 25th anniversary tour with the band in Europe, which was amazing, and that really afforded me the first experience of touring and notoriety on a international level. And that's really kind of how it started. It wasn't something I was, looking to do. It just happened.
It's interesting the way you said how you were kind of getting in the mindset of being a guest vocalist and kind of playing a role. Is that how you kind of got right with being thrust into the spotlight as someone who's now in the front and the lead of a band?
It's definitely different. Drums were my comfort zone and my blanket. And in my personal life, I'm not a spotlight kind of a guy. I'm more reclusive. When I'm home from tour, I don't really go out. I'm not seeking spotlight, or I don't need to be the center of attention in a room. When I'm on stage, then that part of me, comes out. But because I was a drummer and playing in clubs my whole life, the stage itself, being on a stage with musicians, was very comfortable to me. So that never intimidated me. Having everyone staring at you now singing, and then you couple that with the songs that people remember the original vocalist singing, and now you're going to be compared to that guy. That was definitely new territory for me in Crimson Glory. But the majority of those fans, sadly, he did pass away, and so they were very receptive to what I was trying to do and honor the songs, the best way that I could. And then when I joined Queensryche, I had already been through that kind of hazing phase, and it groomed me for this experience, because I've been called every name in the book, and so I know that you're just not going to please everyone, and I'm okay with that. Each show, one by one, we do, have to prove that the band is doing great things, and that the naysayers, if they just give the band a chance and give me a chance live, overwhelmingly they are converting and going, okay, this is really great, and that's really the kind of the icing on the cake for me.
I couldn't agree more. And if you have not seen Queensryche, you need to come see Queensryche, because you add your own personal flair to this while still keeping true to the original.
I do.
How you try to balance that, staying true to it, and then putting your stamp on it.
Obviously, I know so much of the back catalog, and so I remember singing those songs for so long that all of those nuances and little isms and subtleties, I just remember when I hear the song. That being said, I haven't listened to those original recordings in quite a while. So when I sing the songs now and I go back and I listen to the original, it's like, oh, hey, I didn't do it like that, So it wasn't so much that I was trying to change it. It was I forgot that, to attack a note a certain way, or and so that's where some of more of my thing comes in, and some things I have a little more grit and aggression on something, a little more like Rob Halford style of the higher register vocal, versus the very pristine, clean vocals that Queensryche was always known for. So, yeah, and then there are times where, obviously on the new material, that's just how I write. Bruce Dickinson, Ronnie James Dio, Jeff Tate, Michael Sweet, Jeff Scott Soto, Michael Kiske. There are a handful of guys that, when I was growing up, I was a huge fan of the operatic power metal style of vocal in this genre. And so, naturally, when you are absorbing all of those things that you love, and those are your influences, it's going to become part of what you do. If you're an aspiring guitar player and you're a huge fan of Joe Satriani or Yngwie Malmsteen or Stevie Ray Vaughan or Eddie Van Halen, when you're trying to learn and play those things and mimic it, because you want to play it exactly like you hear it to get good at it.
Right.
So then eventually, maybe somebody's playing rhythm guitar and you say, I want to try and solo over this on my own and noodle a little bit. You're going to probably do some phrasings, and you're going to do things that you are familiar with. And if you've been copying and mimicking and emulating the people that you love, it's going to just be, oh, okay, he bends into the note like the guys that he loves. And then later, as you mature as a musician, you find your own little way to twist and tweak things. And so, as much as I do try to represent the old material as it was on the records, the new stuff is completely Todd. I don't try to sound like anyone. That's how I write. And
I want to talk a little bit about your writing and the new stuff. Condition Human is the new Queensryche album that is out October 2nd.